let's take a look at what I read in the month of October 2024. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is a relatively quick wrap-up for the month of October, or spooky season. I read 3 spooky season books, or books that could be put on a spooky season TBR, so I don't know, it's not that bad. But for the month, I only read 4 things, plus finishing off the first one, which I'll talk about in a second. Before we jump into that, make sure you check in the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord, should you want to come along for the ride. You are more than welcome to. Okay, quick check-in on spending. So in the month of September, blew the budget, bought Jaws, the Folio Society edition, which was in my last vlog, if you want to go and check that out. And I don't really have a book haul for this month because I think I put it all in the vlog. I'm pretty sure I had it all in the vlog for September. So they're all over there. I'll put the card thing up there if you want to go and check it out. Feel free to do so. But this month I spent $7, so 7 AUD. There was a deal for P.N. Vang's the first 2 books in her series, which is the Epidmori, I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly, saga. So book 1 is Flight of 1,000 Ambers, which I'll put up here, and book 2 is Wings of Midnight Storms, which I'll put up there as well. So they were, I think, $1 US each for a sale, and I picked up both of them, so they ended up being like $1.30 here. Anyway, it was like $2 something to get them. And I also picked up the Spider Key audiobook from Jacqueline Hagan because I really liked the audio for the Wickwire Watch, and that was $4 because I'd already bought the ebook for the Kindle. So that was $4 on Audible. So not bad spending wise for the month of October. November, I will have a couple of books coming because I will be buying Christmas presents for people, and it's just rude, like, not to buy myself a present in that instance, but I don't know how expensive they will be. The books I'm sort of looking for at the moment are maybe not in print or not super popular, so they may be secondhand. We'll see what comes our way, but I think I have enough books here to probably last me for the next 5 to 10 years without needing to buy another book between these shelves and my Kindle. Anyway, I digress. Let's jump into the reading wrap-up for October. So the first one I'll talk about, and honestly I don't remember that much about it, is Toll the Hounds by Stephen Erickson. So I finished this one on the 3rd of October, so it was like only right at the right at the start of October. I had like 200 pages left, and I finished it for the first read of the month. These books I'm learning take me about 6 weeks. Like, if I'm dedicated to reading it in as short a time frame as my brain can stand these novels, probably about 6 weeks. So I took a different approach with Toll the Hounds this time around. What I did is, because the book itself is split into 4 books, is I would read one section of the book, so about a quarter, put it down, read something else, read the next bit, come down, etc. and so forth. And I think that is the approach I will take with the remaining 2 books. Had a great time with it. I really enjoy Erickson's writing. I think it is very philosophical and navel-gazing, and it probably has way too many words for what needs to be said on the page. I enjoy it. I enjoy that very slow burn, that, we're building all these intricacies throughout the characters. There were some really big moments and some big battles in this one, which I quite liked. Ask me any specifics about it, no idea. Absolutely none. But I do know that Croup was a big part of this one, and he's one of my favorite characters, so I enjoyed that immensely. And we had some like Lady Envy in there, which is also one of my favorite characters from the series, and that was really cool. This was such like a bucket list book for me to read, because I think I've said it on the channel before, but I remember when I was in university, there was a bookstore near where the bus was to go to uni, and I would always go in there and have a look at this book specifically, and I was like, one day I'll read that book. I didn't realize it was a book 8 in a 10-book series with over 1 million pages in it, but here we are, and I finally read it. So that is Toll the Hounds. I will probably pick up, is it Dust of Dreams? Yes. In December, to carry over into January. At least that's the plan at this current stage, and finish off at least the 10-book series next year. I am interested in continuing on with Malazan and the wider world, because I have enjoyed it quite a lot. I don't know whether I'll go straight into it and keep doing it sort of every couple of months, where I'll pick up another book. Unsure, but I'm not stopping at the Book of the Fallen, or yeah, the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I'm not stopping at the 10 books. That's a decision I've made just now. Anyway, the next book that I read or listened to was Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. Sorry, ring light and outdoor lighting. It is summer here, so the sun is trying to blare in the windows. Um, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about this one, like different from what I said in the vlog or different from my experience with the first book that I had. I really enjoy Stephen Graham Jones's writing. I think it's very accessible. I think it's very unique for the horror genre. These books are essentially love letters to the slasher film genre, or the yeah. And I didn't love slashers. I've never loved slashers, but it is a nice love letter to that particular subgenre of horror. Very easy to listen to, very easy to read. I liked the character depth that we got with Jade in this one. Also, she's growing up. She's 4 years after the event at the end of the first book, so she's now in her early 20s and trying to do that thing where you try to be an adult in these situations, but she's also gone through some horrific shit. So she's trying to bring those lessons and what she's learned to help the characters in their own, essentially, slasher. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm interested in reading the third book. I don't know that I'll keep these books, but I will continue to read Stephen Graham Jones, whether I take them out from the library or whether I buy them and then give them to somebody else. My sister loves slashers so much, so I may just send them to her in Brisbane. She's not a huge reader. She's more an audiobook reader, and I've tried to convince her to give these a go. But maybe she might be interested in them. I don't know. I blame Scooby Doo for the love of the particular branch of horror that she likes, and also like the Scream franchise. But potentially that's where they'll go. The next one I picked up was a mood read. So I have two mood reads for the month, and that is a short story collection or novella collection by Stephen King called Full Dark and No Stars. Didn't love it. Didn't love any of the books or novellas or stories in this one. The last one was probably my favorite. I find that Stephen King nowadays can be quite hit and miss for me. I used to read him a lot, and I used to really enjoy Stephen King a lot, but since then, it's not that my tastes have changed all that much. I used to read pretty much everything. I'm still not opposed to reading pretty much anything in any genre, bar like straight up romance, although I did have a period of that too. Anyway, again, this is very tangenty. But yeah, this one just fell short for me. Like, they were all written well, and I enjoyed the writing of the stories themselves, but I did feel that this one played a lot on just terrible treatment of women and misogyny. Not my favorite. Not my favorite thing. And again, I went through into some more thoughts in the vlog, so if you do want to go and check that out, that is explained more. There, I just lost a duck. Side tangent, housemate has done some shopping on Temu. She got 100 of these ducks. They are everywhere in the house, and I've not found them all. And there are three sitting on the webcam. Now it's sitting on Stephen King. The next book that I read was The Erstwhile Tyler Kyle by Steve Hugh Westerner. I'll put it up there. This is my book of the month. Potentially, it could be in my top 10 books of the year. It was fantastic. I will have a full review for this one coming out later this week, so check that one out. Very broad thoughts here is I think Steve has done a fantastic job of blending campy horror with campy queerness, with campy satire comedy, with a little bit of mystery, with a little bit of like body horror and creatures and folklore. Like, it was just such a good genre blend and exactly what I needed in the moment. And yeah, a contender for a really high read of the year. But if you do want to see sort of my full thoughts on that, check out the video, which should be coming out on Thursday. And the last one I have here is another short story collection and another mood read that I picked up, and that is because I was desperately craving this author's writing. Like, even the shorter story, there is a 3-page story in this book, which was pure magic. And this is That Way Lies Camelot by Jenny Wirtz. Now, Jenny Wirtz is an author who is insanely mesmerizing on the page. It doesn't matter if I, like, there were stories in here that I didn't love. There was what I liked about this, and it's interesting because two stories did it. So it's a collection of short stories, but a bunch of short stories follows like a very classic fantasy tale, and there's 3 or 4 of them in like the same world, the same characters, following the same sort of storyline. And there is one which is very classically sci-fi. Now, my brain did not retain very much of that sci-fi one at all. It was probably my least favorite in this particular collection of stories. But even then, the imagery and the words and the prose were so good. Like, it was just so good. So I had a really good time with this one, and yeah, there was a 3-page story in here which like really gripped at the heartstrings, like about being kids being babysat and seeing something in the distance, and the story. So this way, that way, sorry, lies Camelot is a look at grief, and there's a child going through leukemia who needs to cross the bridge into the other life, and it was very sweet and very heartbreaking at the same time. And that was only 20 pages or so as well. So Janie Wirt just has a way with words that is one of the authors that I crave. I consistently crave her writing style. So there is that one. That is all, or those are all. What is English? I don't even know anymore. Those are all the books that I read in the month of October. We're now in November, so it was October. What did you read? What did you pick up? What was your favorite? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you like this content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.